Hi, this is Beatrice, and this is my testimony of mightyone.com of Prophet Elijah, who is a true prophet. Now, how I came to this site was my mom told me about this site because I told her about the dream I had about 2 years ago. And I told her earlier than this, but this time she decided to go check it out and see if she could find anything about it. Now, the dream I had was about UFO abduction. I saw people was getting taken from their places, and it appeared to be like what you see in rapture videos, people just disappearing, except I saw them going up into the sky basically, and it's like they were being locked up inside of in a fetal position inside of this figure in the sky. Now the figure in the sky started out as dots, which were all white, and then these dots would turn red, white, and blue, just at different areas. It was like an invisible hand also drew the outline of a line of a man figure in the sky, and he had one eye, and the whole eye was blue. Now, I have been familiar with Roman mythology, but what I saw apparently was Egyptian mythology. It was the Eye of Horus, exactly, which I wasn't familiar with that before this dream. So, these people were going up inside, and it's as if there was compartments for each and every one of them. They looked very comfortable going up. They would go curl up in a fetal position. Now, I thought this was the rapture, and in the dream, I had an active role in which I had a watching role and an active role. I could watch, and I saw these people being taken up and floating into the sky, and it was rather slower than I imagined a rapture would be. We know it's supposed to be in a twinkling of an eye. But these people were going up so all around the world, and I could see from where I was that's what was happening. And I also had an understanding that communications were out, but I knew somehow, I don't understand this part, but it said that the Jews were missing in Israel. The Jews were missing. So I don't understand that part, but there was no communication, and somehow I heard this on the radio, although all electricity and everything was out at this point in time. So they were going up in a fetal position, like I said, and they go up inside this red compartment, looked very warm and cozy, and then it would close up. Now, there was only so many that could go up into this thing, it seemed, and there was only a few more compartments left. Now, me thinking that it was a rapture, my active role was I was able to discern whether or not it was rapture, so I was thinking about whether or not it was, and I really didn't think it wasn't a dream. So I prayed that I would go up into this thing, and I prayed very fervently to go into this thing. Me and my family were inside of a building. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So, meanwhile, while this is happening in my dream, I'm also seeing, I'm not saying it happens together, but I see these just rolling black clouds coming from the distance. Everyone's looking up in the sky, and it's coming at us. And as it gets closer to us, it's coming from the sky down to the ground. And as it gets closer to us, me and the people, my husband was with me, and some other people, run inside of a building, looked like a shelter. But the whole area looks totally war-torn. And I knew this was America. So if that cloud was to touch us, we would immediately die. So I'm inside this building, and there was one window that I could look out of. As this thing passed, I was able to look outside, and there was big black puddles on the ground, like black puddles of dirt, just barely black. And they would rise up to about a man-sized tornado and then go back down. Well, these things couldn't touch you either, all right, because if it touched you, you would die. So there was a certain point in time we were allowed to come out, but we were in some sort of shelter, me and my kids and my husband, and I could see while we were in this shelter, this building, with other people, the people going up. I just saw them, okay, from my point of view in this dream, all around the world. And some government personnel, like soldiers, moved us to a different building, put us on a bus and moved us to a different building. Now, I was just waiting at this time. So I wanted so badly for me and my family to go up into this rapture that as I prayed, I saw my daughter being able to go up. It was as if I could control whether or not she goes up or not. And I saw my youngest daughter going up in that thing. And I was excited, and as she was going up, I just kept praying, and she went up into it. And the compartments were closing. There's very few people available left to go in. I could see this thing was waiting space, but there's only very few that could go into this thing. So I was praying, of course, for me and my family, but when my daughter went up inside, I had this mixed feeling, like, not really happy, but I tried to make myself happy, like, yeah, you went up at least. I don't know why I was sad, though. So, then I had some weird experience where all throughout my body, my whole body, in real life, now I'm laying on my bed, goes totally numb. And it goes numb, like waves throughout my body. Like when your hand falls asleep, it was like an intense feeling of that. And it was going like waves, like water waves, up and down my whole body. And then I felt like something pulling me upward. Then I heard a voice in my head, which sounded kind of like me, but I knew it wasn't me because I was able to think still. And this is what's happening in real life at this point in time. It was pulling me up, and it was telling me to just calm down, relax, let this happen. And I thought this was the rapture, but I realized my husband was still with me. My husband is saved as well. So I'm like, well, what about my husband? I was able to think about these things, and then I thought, isn't it supposed to be quicker than this? Isn't it supposed to be an equivalent of an eye? As soon as I thought that, my mind totally freaked out, and I got out of this trance thing that I was in, and the feeling of being pulled up, my body felt like from the inside out, it was being pulled up, like some strong gravitational pull or something, or magnetic pull, whatever. As soon as I thought that thought, that it should be in the twinkling of an eye, right? It left, my mind totally freaked out. I did not relax anymore because it's telling me to relax, just relax, let this happen. And so I was like, okay, let me try. But yeah, when I thought that, I realized my husband was still in bed with me. I totally dropped on my bed, and I wasn't up or levitating or anything like that, but it just felt like from my spirit or soul was. So I totally dropped, and came out of that, whatever that was. And then I had like a 1 or 2 second flash of just total destruction, and I understood that to be like a tribulation. So I'm not the type of person who would ever think, not that I thought America was the greatest place ever, like, America tries to make it sound like, but I never thought that we would experience that kind of a destruction. I'm not the kind of person that thought about aliens. I didn't care about aliens, okay? I don't believe in aliens or anything like that, but now, I come to realize what they were. Now, I didn't think this dream was from Yahweh because of the Eye of Horus thing. It seemed like, why would he give me a dream with that stuff? And I told my pastor about this dream because I felt like it was going to happen. I felt like it meant something. And so I told him, because apparently him and a couple other people at that church I was going to were interpreter dream. He told me that dream, it was like God was trying to give me a dream, yet it was infiltrated by demons, and I need to pray before I sleep. But I ignored it for a little while because of that. So I'm like, well, it makes sense. Why would God give me a dream about mythology? Okay, Eye of Horus is mythology. I found that out. So I let it go for a while, and but I couldn't forget it, so I started researching it, but I didn't find anything about it. But I did believe that that's what was going to happen, that there was going to be a fake rapture. I did believe that, but I was afraid to say anything because it sounds crazy. So, although I really do believe that's going to happen. So my mom found this website, and it's 2 years later that she finds this, and for me now, it's been a few months now. And she says, I found something, it's called the Living Rapture. So I check it out on YouTube, and it was mightywind.com, and that's what got me to go to that in the first place. I'm like, that's exactly what this is. And she's even got a dream on that about the communication, how the communication will be cut off at this point in time, so you won't be able to call on the cell phone or do anything like that. And that confirmed too. It's not in the same prophecy, but she does record that dream on her website on mightywind.com. So, I mean, there's just been so many confirmations. This is just one of the confirmations. I've got confirmations coming from my kids, 2 of my girls who had the same dream the same night about the Antichrist or Anti-Messiah. I'll tell you that on a different video, though. This is just one of the confirmations that I've had. This is one of the reasons why I believe, and also it just speaks to my spirit. I just know that this is Yahweh speaking. This is Yahushua speaking. This is Real Hakodesh speaking whenever she speaks in these prophecies. And so I'm here to testify. That's mightywind.com. Sherry Elizabeth Elijah. Apostle Sherry Elizabeth Elijah. It is a real prophet. All right.